right, we'll start with Tim on your right, Clark.
Did your dad fly the plane here for you guys?
Yes, he did. Yeah.
What's that like? I think it happened maybe one other time last year, but just, I mean, to the World Series of all places, how cool is that?
Yeah, I mean, it's a special moment. I think he's flown us before, and it was a really special moment for him, and a lot of the guys, they loved it, and staff members, they had a really great time being able to kind of see some things they don't really get to see. And my dad was a Marine pilot, so he's like really into like aviation and explaining it to everyone, and he's not afraid to talk about it. So it's good. Everybody feels like the pilot's a little bit more personally invested into the flight, so they feel a little safer. So it was good.
And will he fly you guys back tonight or tomorrow?
Yeah, he's flying the family plane back tomorrow. Yep.
Nice.
We'll go to Zach and then Gary in the second row. Behind you, Zach.
Has he ever given you any flying lessons?
We just growing up, like we used to have like the printout of what it was like in a cockpit in my room, so we knew all the buttons and stuff, and I didn't really know what it was. I mean, we were just messing around. And then I've flown with him a few times in like smaller planes and stuff like that, and he's tried to kind of bestow his knowledge on me, but I was always baseball first. But my brother, who's 2 years older than me, is now he used to play baseball as well, and now he's becoming a pilot. So he just got hired by airlines, and he's kind of following in the footsteps as well.
You think after baseball you might try to do that too?
No, that's a hard no on that.
Go to Gary on your left.
If I remember correctly, the last time that he flew you guys, you had some critiques for his landing.
Yeah, I think I've heard a lot of really good things about the landing. So this time, everybody said it was like the best flight they've ever been on, and they felt no turbulence. So it was all good things coming out of this one.
No critiques from you?
No critiques from me.
Go to John, and then we'll stay in that row.
You guys have bounced back from a lot of stuff, but what's the process? Like, is it something that Aaron says after the game? Is it something that Judge? Is it unspoken, or is it spoken? Kind of how you react after something like that.
I'd say it's unspoken. I think we understand that these series are potentially 7 games, and it's obviously every game matters, but obviously when a game ending like that happens, it takes a little bit longer to process than some of the other ones. But once the night ends, it's like, we're on to the next game, and we understand that you got to be able to compartmentalize games and move on, and we know that this is going to be a long series. It's not they obviously got the first punch in, but we got a long series to go, and we understood that this was going to be a tall task, and not just come in here and expect to win every single game. So we'll be ready to play tonight.
And as you get ready for your own first World Series, there's so much talk about like shutting out the noise and everything. Are there benefits you can get from the noise? Are there things that you can take from the excitement and the adrenaline in the environment?
Yeah, totally. I think being able to use the adrenaline and kind of like the butterflies and the excitement, it can take you to another level. I think if you watch throughout the playoffs, like obviously this has been a great playoffs for all the teams and a lot of high-level games being played, and I think that's credit to hyper-focus when you're in these situations and you're playing in these atmospheres. It just can take your game to another level if you let it. Now it can work on the other side as well if you let it get to you, but I try to use it as a benefit and kind of try to take the adrenaline and everything that comes with it and bring my game to another level.
And we'll stay on your far left here, Clark.
Hey, Clark, if I could ask you a pitching question. Between the last year and this year, you've managed to separate your cutter and slider shapes pretty distinctly. Did you make any conscious changes to separate those shapes? And do you have like cues that you're thinking of when you throw those pitches?
Yeah, I think last year was the first full year of throwing the cutter. So there was a lot of growing pains with that. I think, there was times in the year would be really, really good. And then over the course of 32 starts, you would kind of lose feel for that. And maybe you lose feel for your other pitches. So in the off season, like that was a main focus, was kind of cleaning up the shapes and making sure that I can consistently repeat them. at a high level, and I think, we've done that really good this year, being able to, like you said, differentiate the slider and it's such a, those are, the cutter, when you throw cutters and sinkers, it's such a feel pitch that they're complete opposite. Obviously, the movement profiles are going opposite directions, but to make them move the way that they're moving, you have to, it might not look like it when you're watching it, but you have to do things different, maybe not with your body, but with the, like you said, the feel of it. So sometimes if you kind of throw a cutter with the sinker feel, then it's not going to have that same cut. So I'd say over time with repetition and continually throwing it, and just obviously focusing in on bullpens in the off season and lives and stuff like that, we've gotten to a point where we feel, very consistent with release points and the feel of being able to differentiate pitch to pitch.
Brian, third row center.
Clark, you're going to pitch a World Series game at Yankee Stadium. When you hear that, what are your expectations for that atmosphere?
Yeah. I mean, it's a dream come true. I think, being able to pitch the first game at home and a pivotal game, and this has kind of been, I've always dreamed of stuff like this, and it's just been better than my dreams so far. Like, everything is kind of blown it out of the water, expectations and stuff like that, and I'm obviously very excited to get out there, and but I know that I have a job to do, and we're trying to win this World Series, and I think for me, I'm just trying to go out there and execute and do my job, but obviously very excited, and I'm trying to do my best to take as much in without trying to, I'm trying to be as present as I possibly can. So there'll probably be a time of reflection when this is all over, but for right now, just very focused on my job.
Ron, right up front, Clark.
As the Game 3 starter, do you go back ahead of the team, or do you go with them tomorrow?
I'm gonna travel with the team, stick with the guys. Yep.
And you mentioned your brother. What's his name and age?
Clay Schmidt, and he is 30 years. He's 2 years older than me. Clay.
C-L-E-T-E?
A-T-E, yep.
C-L-A-T-E?
Yep, yeah.
We'll start with Alex up front here.
Talk about your mindset right now, potential adjustments for Game 2, and what the morale's like.
Morale's great. We're ready to roll. Our group all year, we've talked about a lot, has been outstanding at bouncing back from tough moments or a tough game or a tough way to end a game. I would expect that for us today. Win, lose, or draw, like, these guys will turn the page and ready to get after the ball today. And, it's a different ball game. Yesterday we're facing Flaherty, today Yamamoto, a little bit of a different lineup we're going up against with Rodon. So, those things change the matchups a little bit, but we're excited to get after it tonight.
Third row straight ahead, Andy.
Just how did Nestor bounce back physically from the appearance last night?
I think pretty good. So we'll see. We'll see how he goes through catch play and all that, and so I'll talk to the pitching group and trainers and see where we're at.
Right behind Clinton.
In a game like that, there's a ton of decisions, and obviously it ends in a big way. But is there any one thing, not that necessarily cost you, but that you thought about and said, that's the one I might have wanted to have back?
Do I send Weave out with the lead for the third up in the ninth or in the 10th? That's the one, that certainly I can make a case for in my head. Now, I worry about a little bit that third up with them, and then where's that leave us, if that doesn't go according to plan, and I haven't done the third up necessarily with them, so that's the one. But the other ones, no, I would double down on.
Second row, left center, John.
In the aftermath of something like last night or Game 3 in Cleveland, is there something, do you address the team fully, or is it more unspoken and kind of how you handle the immediate aftermath of it?
Yeah, I hit a few guys and stuff. Guys said a few things when I loved the room last night right after. It's like, I think we did a lot of things really well. It was a great game to be a part of. I think there was an appreciation of that in there. And, these guys are like, hey, it's a tough one. We know what we're capable of. We'll bounce back tomorrow. A couple guys addressed that. And I liked what I saw in the room in the aftermath.
One row behind, Disha.
Aaron, Judge looks like we're Judge looks like he's missing some pitches that he would normally get to. Just what are you seeing from him right now at the plate?
I thought his last at bat, the trying at bat, was really good. It looked like Aaron when he's rolling to me. I thought he had really quiet takes, and Trinan's obviously about as tough a matchup as you're going to get, especially right on right. Thought he had really good looks at the slider, was slow, on time, and then got his swing off on the pitch he popped up. He just missed that. It's, as close as it is to Papa, that's close to being 450 straightaway center. So I really like that at bat from him, and hopefully that's something that kind of, jump starts him into today too.
Ron, right up front there.
Clark was in here a little earlier talking about his dad piloting the team plane and the player family plane.
Yeah.
What was it like when they let you fly the simulator in Atlanta?
It was great. It was really cool. And Mr. Schmidt said I did a good job. So got to land a plane, and he said this is very, very real. This is so. I was in there for probably 10, 15 minutes flying, and then landing the plane and everything. So it was something, pretty fortunate to get the chance to do.
What airport were you landing in the simulator?
I think I was landing at LaGuardia. Yeah.
We'll go to Jorge in the third row.
Have you decided on a Game 4 starter?
Luis.
Okay.
Yeah.
And why did you guys, I guess, take a little longer than sort of?
I didn't know we did.
We'll go to Tim and then Andy.
You've had Luis Rojas on your staff for a few years now. Do you think he should and or will get another shot to manage along the way?
Yeah. I know he's in the running. I think he did some interviews last winter. Louis is such a great baseball man, great person. I feel really, really blessed to have had him on my staff here for the last few years. So, yeah, I think that day will come for him again.
Go to Andy and then Max.
One more question about Judge's at bats. You're asked a lot about Judge in the postseason, or that's a topic because it's happening in the postseason.
Yeah.
But when he's cold, like a normal person for a week or two or whatever at a time, is this what his at bats look like? Is it like we're seeing a little more chase and maybe missing some pitches that he'd normally hit? Like,
yeah. I
mean,
mean,
that's what he looks like when he's a little cold.
Yeah, that's the nature of the beast of hitting. Just a little off timing wise or whatever. Yeah.
We'll go to your left, Max.
What is it that makes Jazz such a good base runner?
He's got great speed. I think he plays the cat and mouse game pretty good. He's at times when you think maybe he's not aware of things, like he's very in tune with what he wants to do and paying close attention to what's going on around him. But his speed is a separator.
When he gets on there with Trinan, who can be so deliberate to the plate, are you thinking that's a spot for him to do some damage in the 10th last night?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. And, hopefully another one of the good things that, coming out of last night was Jazz getting a little bit settled. I thought having some really good at-bats, having a big impact, playing well in the field, because he's one of those guys that can be a game changer and take over a game for you.
About 6 rows back on your far right, Doe.
Canely is up to 56 straight changeups now. It's obviously a strength, but what do you think when you hear that, and what do you think makes it so hard for hitters to pick up and square up even when they know it's coming over and over?
Yeah, it's just the arm action and the movement of the pitch. He's really over the top, so rips it, and the arm speed throws you off. And, it just doesn't quite get there. Obviously Shohei put a good swing on him. But for the most part, when if he executes his changeup where he wants in the strike zone or chase and gets the right movement on it, it's even obviously guys are looking for it. Is still very hard to hit just because the deception and the delivery and the arm speed.
Do you think you've been around an individual off-speed pitch like that that's so difficult even at such a frequency for hitters to pick up?
I didn't like facing Johan and his changeup because he really ripped it over the top and the arm speed, so you could look for it. it was still hard to gauge the speed of it.
We'll stay there with Sam and then Clinton.
Aaron, what was your impression on Yamamoto when you guys faced him in June, and what do you think the challenges will be for today?
I think he had one of his best starts of the year, stuff-wise especially. We noticed, it was, I forget now, but at the time it was like the first outing to that point that he had thrown more than one pitch over a certain miles an hour, and he threw like 20 of them. So the stuff was electric that night. I think he ended up getting hurt right after that. And I know it's been, he's had some dynamic ones here lately, and he's had some ones where it hasn't been as good. So we'll be ready for, I would expect it to be good. I'm sure he'll have a lot of adrenaline going, and we got to take advantage when he's in the heart of the strike zone.
We got Clinton a couple rows ahead.
Sorry, one last thing about Jazz. Him at third base, he played shortstop coming all the way up. Where is he right now versus what you thought he was going to be once you made that decision to put him there?
Yeah, I think right away he was really good. Again, there's been some growing pains along the way, like, every now and then, just not having the experience of playing over there has shown up. But on balance, I would say, I don't know how many games he played at third, was it 50 games ish? I would say if you matched him up around the league and however you wanted to pan it out defensively, metric-wise or whatever, I would say he was near the top. Like, he was that good over there and has been that good over there. I think he's taken to it well. I think he's enjoying it. He's got a lot of skills.
The two last ones. Jorge on your right, Aaron.
Giancarlo's last 4 home runs have been with 2 strikes. What makes him so good in that spot when other guys are cutting down their swing and 2-strike approach? What makes him so good there?
Just on a good roll right now. Has a great plan at the plate for whoever he's facing and what he's looking for, and not missing when he gets a pitch.
Finish up front here.
Where's the state of bullpen for tonight after the usage in the game 1?
Yeah, we're in good shape. Garrett going into the 7th, was pretty short for the most part with most guys. We've got us 5 outs, but was pretty pitch efficient, so we should be good.
Aaron, thanks so much. Appreciate it.